And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say.
Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to Quick Place Tarot. My name is Corey, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are back up and open. Either message or email me directly. Link is on main, and we'll set it up, okay? So, Cap, what are we looking for in this read? This is going to be your ATC As Things Change read. At time of recording, this is the end of June going into July. So, as we transition from one period to the next, a month to the next, how do the energies shift accordingly? I used to do this in the form of aces on top, tens on the bottom, first and last. But I think I'm more comfortable right now doing as things change as we put the fives on the board. Fives, the intermediary between 1 and 10, being the halfway point, one that identifies conflict. And then it's shown across all the elements, water, earth, fire, and air, cups, pentacles, wands, and swords, respectively. We hope that by doing this, we dive straight into the problem. And after we dive straight into the problem, we try to glean some immediate insight and just be as very direct as we possibly can. Right? That's the purpose of it all. So as a preamble to the recap, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, if it gets difficult, understand that I, as your tarot card reader, am not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, I got 12 signs to work with and none of the time to lie to any of them. Instead, we lay our cards out on the board, and good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we talk about it because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation, just an energetic one, yeah? So follow along with me in your read today, Cap, your ATC read, as things change. And yeah, let's see what the cards say. We're going to start over here with the Five of Cups. So what's the cards we need to see, please, for Capricorn in this read? Confusion, the Two of Swords. Why so? Why are we opening with that? Eight of Swords. We know there's something deeper. And the Seven of Swords. Yeah. So, how long have we lied to ourselves? Here's why I say this, Cap. I'm not trying to be harsh with you or unkind. I just have to say it, call it like I see it, right? First, the Two of Swords came out. Having the Two of Swords is indicative of a level of confusion or indecision, right? Interesting that it comes underneath the Five of Cups because that's a definitive emotion, right? That's sorrow, that's regret, that's a wish that things would have been different. And then we have the Two of Swords saying that we don't know. You have way too much emotive impact for the Two of Swords to be there. Next, we have the Eight of Swords. The notion of powerlessness and choice, that I really don't know what to do. I'm going to pretend that I don't see the obvious thing, which is climbing out this cage of swords, right? Can you get her on the way out? Yes. But is that probably one of the only ways out? Also true. The Eight of Swords then represents the level of willful ignorance that, again, we claim that we don't have the answer, although the most obvious one might be right in front of us. And then the Seven of Swords. The notion that what is at the surface is not directly as it immediately appears. Directly shown. My apologies. The Seven of Swords, along with the Eight of Swords and Two of Swords, part of us is sad that an opinion we once had did not pan out in the way that we originally directed. The other, I think the most deeper part, we realized that, yeah, we kind of been lying to ourselves about a situation the whole time, right? And accountability where accountability is due, Cap. You are trying to be nice to yourself as you have this brutally honest conversation. But there's something about all this supposed confusion being underneath the Five of Cups that is really unsettling, because that is almost like a rehearsed script, right, of what can and can't be done, should or should not be. And in reflection of it, you're only made saddened by it because you realize that the reality is probably kind of different, materially and otherwise. Next to the Five of Pentacles, show us cards we need to see, please, upon that Five of Pentacles in this reading. The cards we need to see, please, upon the Five of Pentacles in the read today. Ooh, interesting. Okay, that's honesty. I can appreciate it. Three of Swords. Notion of heartbreak, the sharp feeling pain, an immediate reaction. What else? In the reverse. Normally the sun upright represents the happiest we've ever been, to bask in warm sunlight. In the reverse, the sun is eclipsed. And it cannot be found. Right, that something just perpetually or permanently eludes us. Any others, since we got all the cards flying out for this one? I mean, Earth is Capricorn's home element, so define it as you need to. Okay, yeah, no. What's the last card that we need to see, please? Couple it. That's a break. Why are we breaking? There we go. That's third. King of Pentacles. We are more saddened that an investment could not work out in the ways that we originally directed it to. And it may not have led us in the directions that we wanted to, or made us settle for something that we never wanted in the first place. Therefore, the Three of Swords comes out because, again, and I think it ties back to all those swords that you began with, right, Capricorn? At the beginning, it was all about, kind of deluding ourselves, saying that, no, it doesn't hurt that bad, or I could look at it a different way. When the reality is, you're in pain because the level of disappointment that's had right now was something you really wanted to invest into. And so, the sun in the reverse coming out, you're not in a space right now to hear the positivity. You're just not. And that's okay. That is okay. I think constantly putting on a brave face only indicates to us how unhappy we are on the inside. However, that Three of Swords underneath that Five of Pentacles, we're more mad that it didn't work out, but we're also not admitting to ourselves that this was also a possibility, right? So what are we left to do? I think we're trying to put on a straight face, maybe even to save face for some of you, that this could, would, or should be better, but it doesn't change what is. And right now, hey, we're doing the best of what we got. I do commend you for that, because you're looking for the sun, even if it's not showing towards you directly right now. We're feeling left out because when you start to invest yourself more deeply into whatever this was for you, it didn't pan out and you took it as a monumental failure, when in fact it could actually be a beginning towards something much better. Just a consideration. Next to the Five of Wands. Show us the cards we need to see, please, upon the Five of Wands for capping their reading. That's a break. What else do we need to see, please? Five of Wands for Capricorn in their read today. Ooh, very nice, except for it didn't hit the table, so I can't take it. What other cards do we need to see, please, for Capricorn in their read? Okay. On the Five of Wands. What we're being shown is when we think that we have no options at all, the Knight of Wands now appears. Conflict shows us our own freedom. So what if it didn't work out? What's your next step? What's the game plan here? Queen of Swords. We're going to pick ourselves up. We're going to try again in a different avenue, in a different venue, at a different time. And Knight of Wands, the raw reality of it is that we're only going to get out what we put in. I know it feels like almost emotional numbness, or like this distance of pure utilitarian aspect right now, Capricorn, that hey, these feelings, I should be above them, etc. You're not, and that is okay, right? Eventually we will get to the point of saying, okay, when I can get over whatever loss I had with this investment is, I can look forward to much better and brighter things. That's your challenge right now. to not just see this as a pure loss, but actually realize what you gained even in its loss, what lessons were learned, what can be guarded, what strategies can be formulated. That way next time it doesn't happen the same exact way. Nothing is ever a pure loss. Okay? Last, that's going to be the title. There we go. Boom, boom. And last, to the Five of Swords. So those cards we need to see, please, for Capricorn in this read. What of the Five of Swords? Four of Pentacles. What we hold on to, what we're trying to maintain, what is a proper investment? The Magician. Do we have the capabilities within ourselves to make things come manifest? And the Two of Pentacles. Can we actually balance it out? Right now, you're in a state of self-doubt, Cap. That Two of Pentacles and Four of Pentacles doubles. One trying to juggle, if I put it in the method of juggling, right? When we throw the juggled object up in the air, it could be a pin or a ball, going against the tide, trying to make things move. And then when it comes down due to gravity, that which couldn't change, that which we're going to try to move and do again and again and again and again, right? Juggling in the sense of we're going to keep on trying, we're going to make it balance out some way, shape, or form, we're going to get a rhythm going, right? Then to that Four of Pentacles, what is a proper investment? Here, the reason I'm saying you're experiencing self-doubt, all of that is underneath the Five of Swords right now. And it's because what we had, this was a major impact to you that I don't think you're even letting yourself say out loud. However, when we can start to say it out loud, we can also realize, no, it wasn't a bad investment. This is just how it happens sometimes. And if that's how it happens, that's okay. I can learn from it and come back twice as strong. Okay? Nothing's ever a pure loss. Underneath it all, the Ten of Wands, the efforts that we put in, now becoming the weight that we carry. Here, your weight is left in the unspoken. If we don't address it, it only grows. And that's just where it's at. Okay? Next, can I get a card underneath every five? Show us cards when you see, please. Define every five in this read for Cap. As things change. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. If this is the process that you need to get by right now, Capricorn, then I want you to sit with the uncomfortable, not the easy, right? That Seven of Pentacles coming out, hey, this was always a possibility, and when in the worst case scenario, these things happen. If so, then what? The Seven of Pentacles tends to be a very flippant card in the fact that it is what it is, right? This is what it takes to grow a garden. All the seeds, all the tools, all the time, all the effort, all the plants, all the rain, etc., all the sunshine, right? Adding all those aspects together, we can't say we didn't know. And that's why I felt all this contradictory energy at the beginning that you were saddened by, because it would be easier to say that you couldn't have predicted this as being an outcome. It was one of many. And it just so happened it didn't turn out in your favor the first time. Next, underneath Five of Pentacles, the Sun. Right. Your happiness is still in what you do, not just a failure of what you had. If then, so what? Nothing is ever a pure loss. Do not feel that you've lost all opportunity simply because this particular thing didn't work out. Okay? Next, Seven of Wands. Okay? We're guarded from that truth right now. We are not in a space of accepting that, okay, when I can start to look at this in a better or different light, things actually start to open up for me. They will. Trust me, they will. You're very close to it. However, we need to just, I don't want to say cut our losses, but learn from them. And we're not at that stage yet. Last to that Five of Swords, Nine of Cups. My fulfillment, my satisfaction will be had in believing that I can make many investments, not just one that went horribly wrong, but all the things that can go terrifically right. And never forget that underneath it all. Seven of Swords, right. Now, this is as opposed to the Seven of Swords over here that kind of hinted uh, a thought phrase or logic we were using was meant to defend ourselves from a truth we already calculated. Over here, it's actually not as bad as we originally thought, but we got to look for the positive, not just believe in the failure. There's more than just failure here. And last, as we move towards resolution, to find the major arcana strewn across the table in this read, we will first look at the sun in reverse for Capricorn. Why do we see an eclipse in the sun? That it's not shining for us right now, no matter how hard we look. So let's go to me, please. The sun in the reverse in this read. Sun, intentionality of action. You really took this hard, Cap, right? Because now I went through all the planning, I did everything, and it still didn't work out. What does that say about me? It says that you tried, right? Nothing is ever a pure loss. It said you were brave enough to try, and you risked a lot for it. Now what do we do next? To the Magician, Eight of Swords. Again, and as opposed to the beginning where we were kind of defending ourselves from our own thoughts as a way to be emotionally avoidant, here underneath that Five of Swords, the only way we're going to change our confidence and behavioral patterns around this is by doing it again. We have the skills and the capability. Nothing is ever a pure loss. And to the sun, upright, the moon. Ooh, maybe beauty now rests in the unknown and the things that we can't immediately see or garner. So in resolution, the first, the King of Wands. With all the options available, we maximize every opportunity. Sure, so what? It didn't work out on the first time. What about the next time? In the world, a cycle's completion. We're going to get there. But for the new cycle to open up, where we make even better investments and we come back twice as strong and 30 times as successful, we have to stop blaming ourselves for what couldn't go right and actually learn from the mistakes, right? Underneath it all, Page of Swords, observation, and hopefully education that we learn from what we're seeing. What do we see in this read today, Cap? I'm looking at a Capricorn who kind of tried to numb their pain around the issue of a project or an investment they really put a lot into that did not go as planned. And it really got you down for a while. I don't think you let a lot of people know about this. However, you can't stay stuck there. And part of you knows you're actually energetically shifting towards more bigger and better things. However, right now, you're kind of, I don't want to say just your own worst enemy, but the stuff that you're telling yourself is not conducive for where you want to go. The only way to break this pattern of fear and behavior around your investments, your ideas, and the things you want to do is to do more things that you want to do. It sounds counterintuitive, I know, but the more you put yourself out there, the more you'll eventually get back in return, even if this one didn't go right. That's all I got in your read today, Cap. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, as things change, eventually, so will you. Keep trying, okay? I'll see you around.